Ready to learn! Welcome to Math with Mr. H. Today we'll be reviewing everything we learned in Module 12. It was a big section. We learned a lot about algebraic expressions. We learned a lot about how to manipulate equations. So, let's see what we remember. Ready to learn? So, the very first question is going to ask us and check our remembrance of some definitions. It's asking us to write an item below, or which item below is an expression. Well, if you remember correctly, an algebraic expression is a mathematical, that's a really thick line, mathematical statement that includes one or more variables. All right, so an expression is a mathematical statement that includes one or more variables. Now, an equation is a mathematical statement that two expressions, so expression and an expression, it's a statement that these are equal. So we can kind of see our little balance scale here. And it's telling us that these two expressions are equal, which is funny because equation has equal. It has equa and equal in its name. So let's just look for equal signs. Oh, there's an equal sign on A, so that means that is an equation. B, there's another equal sign, that's an equation. C, that's an equation. D, I do not see an equal sign. That is an expression. The next question. Football player can run 20 yards in 6 seconds. Well, let's just start writing that down. So in 20 yards, it takes 6 seconds. Which equation is used to find R, the number of seconds he can run, or the number of yards he can run in 1 second? Well, let's think about this. So if he can run 20 yards in 6 seconds, miles per hour, let me think of that, miles per hour. So would we not read that 20 yards per 6 seconds? 20 divided by 6 equals R. Okay. Now, let's see. So 20 divided by 6 equals R. If I reduce that down, then it comes out to, what, 10 over 3? Because I divide both of them by half, and that's 3 1/3 yard a second. So if he runs 3 1/3 yards 6 times, so I can come right back here. So 6 times 10 is 60 over 3. And I can divide that 3 out, and I'm left with 20. So yeah, if R equals 6, then he's ran 20 yards. So yes, he can run 3 1/3 yards every second. Easy way to remember these type of equations is think about miles per hour. It's miles over hour, miles per. So he can run 20 yards per 6 seconds. That's how I work it. If not, swing by for tutoring, we'll figure it out. Cruising on along to number 5 here. Write an equation to represent the following situation. Ooh, let's get the colors on. Mike's test score. All right, so we have Mike's test score. Was, remember, was is a is word. So was equals 15 points lower than. Remember, lower than means we're going to put it backwards so it goes behind. Then Mark's. So Mark minus 15. Okay, so we're going to write an equation to represent the situation. Mike's test score was 15 points lower than Mark's if Mark scored an 80 on the test. Well, this is simple substitution. I'm going to put 80 in here for Mark. All right, so now I have Mike equals 80 minus 15. But let's just look at this as if this wasn't an answer on our choices. So what else could we do to this equation? Well, it seems kind of silly right now, but if we were taking the STAR test and this wasn't an option, I know that I could add 15 to both sides, and that would give me Mike plus 15 equals 80. And this is a skill you're going to want to know, because on the STAR test, instead of just telling us Mike equals 80 minus 15, they're going to want to know that Mike plus 15 equals 80. Okay, on to the fun stuff. Solve for x. 3x minus 10 equals 20. Okay, so we got to isolate this x. So first things first, remember PEMDAS? Let me erase this. I'm getting ahead of myself. PEMDAS. PEMDAS. And we are so used to working this top down, it's not even funny. But remember, when you're working backwards on an algebraic expression, work bottom to top. Okay, you want to work your PEMDAS backwards to solve the equation. It just works out easier that way, trust me. So the first thing we want to do is get rid of our addition and subtraction. So we're going to add 10 because that's the opposite of the take away 10. What we do to one side of the equation, we have to do to the other side of the equation so that we can balance the equation. So we have 3x equals 20, because negative 10 and 10, those cancel. 10 plus 10 is 20. So now we're going to have to get rid of this 3, and that's a multiplication. What's the opposite of multiplication? Why, division, of course. So we will divide both sides by 3. We get x equals 20 divided by 3. Now, be aware, that's not simplified. So we need to go on ahead and simplify that. How many times does 3 go into 20? 3 goes into 20 6 times. 6 times 3, that's 18. That leaves a 2. And let's go on ahead and pull it out to a fraction. So 6 2/3 is our simplified format. So this may be an option for you, but if not, simplify. See if that one is. Number 7. Number 7 says, use the equation below and evaluate for y. So we've got 3y plus 2 equals x plus 2. and we want to evaluate for y. Now, if we evaluate for y, that means that we are trying to isolate and get this y by itself. Now, just like I said on the other one, we've got PEMDAS in our favor, and because we've mastered PEMDAS, we want to work it backwards. So what we see here, I see this addition. Opposite of addition is subtraction. So I am going to subtract 2 from both sides. 3y, that's a y, equals x. Turns out we got rid of 2 on both sides. That's awesome. All right, but now we need to solve for y. This solves for x. So we need to isolate this y. That's multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. And so then we have y equals x divided by 3. It's that simple, I promise. Oops. Okay. Which of the following situations describe this equation? Do we remember Dr. Berger doing this? He wanted to find out something about gas prices, and he had an equation, and he wanted to come up with a story to help him define it. Well, let's take a look and see what we can come up with. I find it's easiest to just read each statement and then make the equation off of that. So Robert earned $10, Robert earned $10, Robert earned $10, Robert earned $10. Hey, so this is going to be 10 equals, 10 equals, 10 equals, 10 equals, and now we don't care what Robert earned. Now, which was, that's our equal sign, which was, okay, 4 times what Eric earned. 4 times what Eric earned. So 4 times Eric less 2. So I need to take away 2. 10 equals 4x minus 2. Nope, that's not it. Okay, Robert earned $10, we got that, which was 4 less than. 4 less than, so that tells me my 4 goes outside in the minus 4. Twice what Eric earned. So 2 times Eric. So 10 equals 2x minus 4. 2x minus 4 equals 10. Nope, that doesn't match it quite right. Okay, C, Robert earned $10, which was 2 times 4 less than what Eric, so 4 goes here, less than what Eric earned. So 2 times x minus 4, nope. And 10, Robert earned $10, which was $14 more, which was 14 more than, says I put it behind, twice what Eric earned, 2x. Well, none of these are right. Well, let's see. I've got 2x here plus 14. I can't do anything with that. But I've got a 2 times x minus 4. Okay, let's try distributing this. So first I multiply the 2 times the x. That gives me 2x. Then I multiply the 2 minus 4. That gives me minus 8. Nope, can't be that one. So let's go back here. 10 equals 2x minus 4. Well, can't I just reverse this to 2x minus 4 equals 10? Hey, that equation's still balanced. It's B. Hang on, I'm going to get ahead. There we go. Use the model below to find the value in relation to x. All right, this is actually going to be quite fun, I think. So this first equation here, that is equal to, let's see, we have 2x plus 1y equals, because remember our triangle is our balancing beam, and our balancing beam is telling us an equal sign. And then how many z's is that? That's 3z. Okay, and down here I have 2x equals 1y. All right, and I need to find the value for x in relation to z. So then that means they want me to put some number of z's right down here over this question mark. I think we can do this. So I need to find x to z. Oh, look. They've got us substituting variables. I've got a y and a y. So I can put this other 2x right up here into this y. Let's try that. 2x plus, instead of the y, I'm going to write another 2x because 2x equals y, equals 3z. Okay, well 2x plus 2x, I can combine those. That's 4x equals 3z. And now divide both sides by 4. And I have x equals 3/4 z. Wow. So don't be confused. Sometimes we have to substitute more variables for other variables. This is actually the part of math that I absolutely love, problem solving. Ooh, speaking of problem solving, there, we got that mess cleared out. Use the model below to find the value of x. That is a lot going on this little balancing beam here. So let's see, let's write this equation first and foremost. All right, so we have 2x plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equals 1, 2, 3, 4 y's 1, 2, 3 minus 3. Okay, and now I'm looking to find the value of x. That means I want to isolate the x and I want to wind up with x equals something. Now, x equals something means I need to do this, and let's rewrite this just to make sure we remember. PEMDAS. And we're not going to work it top down, we're going to work it bottom up because we're doing algebra, and algebra is sometimes backwards. So I have an additional 5 here. That means I'm going to subtract 5 and subtract 5. And that leaves me with 2x equals 4y minus, oops, that's a minus, minus negative 3 minus 5, that's a negative 8. Okay, so 2x equals 4y minus 8, or x equals 4y minus 8 over 2. Now, it just looks messy, doesn't it? Isn't dividing the same thing as multiplying by a fraction? So this could also equal 1/2 times 4y minus 8. It is. And now I could distribute this 1/2 between that 4 and amongst that 8. So then that would give me 1/2 times 4, that'd be 2y, minus 1/2 times 8, 4. Well, that's even prettier. Look at that, 2y minus 4. So x equals 2y minus 4. Welcome to that part of math where we no longer need actual numbers as answers. Sometimes our answers are going to be numbers. Sometimes our answers are going to be variables. It happens from time to time. It's not always going to be easy to tell when. Go with your gut. Look at your options and your choices, and always check for your reasonableness. That being said, we've reached the end of our review. So, let me clear that off, and I'm going to go away now. Remember, the review worksheet is for a grade and is a requirement. Your parent or guardian signature is worth an extra 10 points on the exam. I want them to know that you're doing your work, and I want them to see the wonderful work you're doing. And as a reminder, morning tutoring is 7:30 to 8:15 every morning. I'm here. Make sure you check with me on the day prior so that I can ensure the front office has a pass ready for you and that I'll be there. For extra practice, check out mathaids.com. They've got a ton of worksheets for you to get on practice. And if I'm not making sense to you, visit Khan Academy or Math Annex here on YouTube. Sometimes you just need a different voice to understand it. It's okay. Check the description for links. Oh, and apparently I'm supposed to tell you to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you get alerted when there's a new video gets posted. See you in class. Mr. H. Out.
Ready to learn!